Um, and talk about side weapon design, like the weapon accompanied with instead of the main tank's main gun. So for the other tanks, the tank beside Merkava, um, the normal design of the most modern Mimino tank is only have a coaxial machine gun that accompany with the main gun and a 7.62 millimeter machine gun or a 12.7 millimeter anti-aircraft machine gun mounted on the top of the tank body. And in the Merkava's design, instead of the coaxial machine gun that accompany with the tank's main gun, uh, a 6 millimeter motor was installed in addition to those machine guns, and that the motor could greatly enhance the tank's ability to support its accompanying infantry during the combat. And in addition, the smoke grenade fired by the motor could also further enhance tank's own survivabilities in the battlefield. And in the subsequent development of the Merkava, uh, the after the Merkava MK1, the Merkava MK2 has changed the external motor of the Merkava MK1 into an internal one. And this change allows the motor operator to be located under the protection of to operate the motor under the protection of the tank's armor, and it further improves the survival rate of the tank crew. And the internal design of Merkava also needs to be mentioned. The internal design, it helps the Merkava to avoid the sympathetic detonation. So according to some statistical study of the ammunition hit on tank's part, apart from the direct enemy fire, a large portion of the casualty to the tank crew member are caused by the sympathetic detonation of the ammunition inside the tank. Thus, in order to improve the survivability of the tank crew and avoid the sympathetic detonation of ammunition is become a priority goal for the internal design of Merkava. And the solution adopted by Merkava was to place the shells at the rear of the tank body. And this placement makes it essentially impossible for the incoming fire to touch the ammunition rack. And also, in order to avoid the destruction of ammunition by fire, the Merkava used fireproof containers to wrap the ammunition when storing it, and supplemented it with fire suppression system and explosion suppressing system to keep it safe. The front-mounted engine of Merkava gives the tank a large space in the rear part of the tank, and that space also gives Merkava a certain of flexibilities. As the ammunition rack is located at the rear of hull, there is a walkway between the two sides of the ammunition magazines at the rear of the vehicle for crew access. And this walkway, this space can be used as a multi-purpose storage space to carry like an additional 20 round of ammunition, or temporarily carry some person. Thus, this design gives Merkava an ability to rescue trapped personnel under intense enemy fire. This gives the Merkava some secondary rules in the battlefield in addition to be a main battle tank. It could also be used as a infantry fighting vehicle to transfer infantry during different war zone, or an armored command vehicles, or a field ambulance to rescue the friend force if necessary. And here is a here is something about the side design of the Merkava. So as an important part of protection, the design on the side of the Merkava tank body also reflects the idea of using the mechanical component and multi-layer armor to protect the crews. So instead of using the traditional torsion bar suspension, the Merkava is designed with coil spring suspension mounted on the outside of the tank body. And so for the other tanks in the world, the suspension normally would be placed inside the tank body, and the Merkava used suspension is placed outside the tank body. And the Merkava adopted the wing box structure and also have a side skirt structure to form a spacer armor. It follows the Horstman suspension system of the Centurion tank that mounts the suspension system outside the tank, tank, and it further enhanced the tank's protection performance. And we talk about the analyze. Now we goes to the engineering design. So first is about the reliability of the tank. The Merkava's reliability has been proven in many wars. So using some data in 1982, the other E-Serial tank had a 61% chance of being shot through, and while the Merkava only have a 41% chance, and other tanks would have a 31% chance of have a internal combustion after being hit by enemy fire, but the Merkava only have a 15% chance. And for the other tank, it has a 30% chance of hurting the tank crew after being hit. But for the Merkava tank, it only have a 13% chance of hurting the tank crew after tank being hit. And in addition to later, like for now, like in order to counter the threat from a guided missile and armor-piercing ammunition, the latest version of the Merkava Mk4 also equipped with a active electronic defense system, like the trophy system. It further enhanced the Merkava's reliability. And for the maintainability consideration of Merkava, the unique design of the Merkava reduced its rate of complete loss after it is being hit. Um, the tank armor could be penetrated, but the tank itself is extremely hard to be completely destroyed. So that helps reduce the logistical pressure during the wartime. And because it's obvious that it's much easier to repair a slightly damaged tank than to produce a brand new one. And uh, and also considering about the Merkava suspension system, the Horstman suspension system. So at the beginning of the design of the Merkava suspension system, it originally planned to equip Merkava with the hydropneumatic suspension system. But that system is not that reliable and it's hard to maintain. So so it's not adopted. And then comparing with torsion bar suspension. The torsion bar suspension is quite difficult to replace after taking a certain degree of battle damage. And it requires like 1 week, several weeks, like to replace the torsion bar suspension after a tank is getting hit. But for the Horstman suspension system, um, it only needs like several hours, like to replace a Horstman coil spring suspension system. And more about the maintenance consideration. After the Merkava series developed to the Merkava MK3, the unique design of the modular armor also become one outstanding feature of the Merkava tank's design. It is a new and unique armor concept. It allows ballistic protection to be provided by a special armor modules that were bolted to the tank. So when there is technological update happens, or when there is when there is technological updates happens, the armor could be replaced by the latest technology armor, latest armor. So the tank's armor could always in the most under the most advanced protection technology. It also helps to reduce the logistics pressure and the maintenance cost, because only needs to replace a small part of the armor instead of replace the entire armor.